It reveals the secrets of the past, the present, and what may come to be. Most would think me fortunate to own such a book, but I can only use it in service to others. That is my curse. It wakes, tormenting me once more, feeding on the mysteries of this world, unraveling them into opportunity. But opportunity for whom?
What's going on, guys? I'm here. Give me one sec. Oh my god. Had a really busy day. So, glad to kick it up for a bit and just play a little bit of Warhammer. I'm going to find my opponent real quick. Here we go. Me and Jace was. I don't know who he's playing, so I guess we'll see what's going on. I'm playing Khorne as usual. Is anybody really that surprised? My goal is to get him up there on the win rate. I gotta represent. I can't let my guys slide down the board here. And man, I gotta go check my own maps for my own tournament that I set up. I chose some pretty different ones. Yeah, we got Twilight Forest. Twilight Forest is really cool. Definitely pretty unique. It's got some cool terrain features. Still very balanced, though. Nothing too insane that just, like, throws it all out of whack, you know? Very appropriate for a tournament. Oh, shit, we got a Skaven matchup in the early going here, man. It's gonna be kind of hairy. Skaven Doomflayers are not as good as they were, but Skaven are still quite dangerous. Just because they're so good at getting after you. They just have really good tools in general. Khorne can definitely struggle a little bit if you don't play this matchup carefully. Alright. Here we go. Alright, just while I'm finishing my build-up, switch y'all away, and we'll get settled. Maybe. I'm going through in my head what changes Skaven got, and I'm trying to think if maybe I need to mix up the builds just a little bit, just to account for some of the improvements that they got to some of their more niche units. I've heard tale of some incredibly powerful mutant rat ogre stuff that they can do now, which is pretty scary. Mutant rat ogres are certainly no slouches in terms of like combat ability. They are definitely something that Khorne could struggle to deal with, or at least take serious damage from. Maybe I need this. I think I'm actually gonna bring one of these. Okay. Maybe a little too thin, maybe a little bit more here will be good for me. You gotta be careful against Skaven, because if you can go pretty heavy on good quality stuff into them as Khorne, you do have pretty good tools to shut down their shooting. So you definitely don't have to worry nearly as much as some other factions do, but having said that, they also, in return, can switch the matchup on its head. And lean really heavily into some really cheesy, maybe not cheesy, but certainly like off-meta stuff that wouldn't work against other factions that will do really well against Khorne. So I'm just trying to mix it up and make sure that I get everything sorted. Sweet. Alright, Swizz, let's do this. Boop. While we're waiting for Swizz, just want to show off the current win rates as they stand right now. Chaos Demons have been pretty dominant, which isn't super surprising. They were pretty strong before. Now that Skull Cannons got buffed and they have access to them, they're even more powerful. Because they can kind of cover up some of the weaknesses of Skull Cannons. Namely, just that those things, they do have some passive healing, but can be a little finicky, and they have low leadership. So being able to like pop some decent heals on top of the Skull Cannons can keep them alive a lot longer. And they've got a lot of like pretty low quality infantry that can buffer for the Skull Cannons, like Nurglings. Nurglings are pretty decent at getting in there and like stopping up enemy units that are like chasing them around, which is pretty nice. Definitely gives them a little bit of an extra leg up. Ogre Kingdoms, Scrambled Egg has been maining these guys the last couple of tournaments and doing amazingly with them. I mean, 3-0 against Nurgle. And Nurgle's no slouch. Nurgle's been doing pretty well this season so far. It's going to be really interesting to see how all of these matchups even out over time. Bretonnia's definitely been struggling, but I don't think that... I mean, they're not going to just stay down here at 0% this whole time. I mean, Vampire Counts had a rough start, just like the Bretonnians have. And after some people got in there and gave them a little more representation... They've climbed up from the pits. I think they started like 0-7 or something, which is really brutal for them. Sweet. Alright, and Swizz is ready. Alright, I'll flip it back over, and we'll kick it off, and we'll get going here. Right, get rid of this, unpin this shit. So there's 2 high ground objectives here. There's 1 low ground. I'm not sure which one we're going to maneuver to. Probably the high ground on this left-hand side from where I'll be spawning my units at. I can't bring up the telestration yet. But once we're in, I'll show you some of the positions that I'm thinking of taking here. Got some Furies. They're going to be really nice. They're going to control a lot of space for me. The Cultists... they'll be good for controlling space as well. Very powerful combat characters. They can hold their own against most of the Skaven monsters and characters. They do pretty decently there. You gotta keep a good eye on them, though. You know, Skaven can get after these guys pretty well. But at the very least, they're not going to just bleed tons of value. They'll be very good at buffering out any like gutter runners that might be coming in to try and get damage on me. I don't want to leave the Minotaurs all the way over there. I think that's a bit of a mistake. The idea I'm thinking of right now is to get the Minotaurs up behind the shot blocker here, and as needed, just maneuver them out and around to try and get on top of my opponent's stuff that it's pushing up onto the number 3 here. Middle objective, I might actually send the Cultists over there, now I'm thinking about it. And a couple of the shielded Marauders I think I'll send with a dual weapon, and then the rest of my army is mostly going to be focused on that number 3. Furies. What happens if you land them in the forest? It's funny that they don't actually like have any walking animations, they just kind of hover on the ground. But I think I'm going to leave them in the trees here, just in case. It's a decent enough little position. They can jump out and support the 2 and the 3, and if my opponent goes up to the number 1 with like a smattering of units, these guys will be in a good position to maybe jump out there and get a little bit of damage done. Alright, cool. So let's get it on, man. I should probably put these guys in their own little control group. Get them up there. Get all these guys moving up. The Minotaurs need to go there. And Valkia, she's just going to fly forward a little bit. Oh, we've got Plague Monks. We've got Skaven Slaves. We've got Warp Lightning Cannons out. This looks a little bit like a build that's trying to do something to counter Skull Cannons. Just with the presence of the Warp Lightning Cannons specifically. My opponent does not have a Howling Warp Gale character. So that's pretty good for me. Howling Warp Gale would do a lot of work at controlling my units getting in there. So what do we bring in first? I think actually I bring in a unit of Bloodletters first, maybe? He's got a lot of Plague Monks moving up, and those are going to be very annoying to deal with. Getting a little shot up here by the Warp Lightning Cannon. I think we can position behind the tree maybe a little bit. We'll get up over here. Skaven Slave's the only thing on top of that artillery piece right now. I might be able to go really deep here with a very aggressive like summon of Furies and the Hounds of the Blood Hunt maybe. I'm not sure which I want to save up for. I do really need to do something to shut that cannon down a little bit. I can't just leave it to fire at me this whole game. Minos, they're going to be very safe back here. These guys are all going to kind of move up over here. They're going to take some aggressive positions. We'll see what Valkia can do. Valkia is going to be very annoying, and it's mostly Skaven Slave slings. The slings are going to do a little bit of damage, but they won't be amazing, and yeah, the tree is actually stopping a little bit of that damage there. I don't want to fight the Plague Monks here. Not just yet. I don't really want to take the damage on my Marauders. I've got the Cultists. They'll get in there. They'll do some pretty good work. Valkia is going to fly overhead. I don't want her to land in there, though. My opponent is bringing the Flayers out, and I don't think I really need to go after them just yet. Maybe a Mino. Actually, I think I'm going to bring the Blood Shrine out. Blood Shrine's actually going to be pretty nice. Let's get in here and let's just cast this through the cannon crew and see how much damage it can do. Because I think it'll actually do some poke. Did a little bit. It hit the crews, the actual cannon crews farther back there. But those Marauders taking a little bit of damage. We've got the Cultists in a pretty good fight here. They're stopping a little bit of the damage just because they're obstructing some. And they're getting some Plague Monks kind of killed up. That's a summon from our boy, Skrulk. I love Skrulk. Skrulk's a very cool character. And here come those damn Flayers. So we need to move the Minotaurs over a little bit. We'll get back here. The Rat Ogres, they're going to be a little bit of a wash against what I'm throwing in there. Flayers, they're doing some nasty damage, and I do really need to start trying to get back here to get after the enemy's Skaven Slave Slingers. It's doing a decent little bit of damage here. Oh man, that's really good. He got a really nice jump in there on me. All of my poor little guys getting ripped to pieces right now. So let's get up over the top and just hover above. And we'll try and land back down on this thing in a moment. Need to keep this moving. We're breaking some positions here. Is this a summon? That is a summon. So I'll just keep fighting in there. I'm going to get the Minotaurs across. Minos should absolutely obliterate this thing. We're going to keep driving through here. He's doing a good job of hovering above me. I might be able to collapse now on top of that. And I think it's time for the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, because they are going to absolutely feast here against all the Plague Monks and cheap missile units. And I do actually think this might end up being worth it. Sacrificing this Fury to kill the Warp Lightning Cannon crew. He did get on top of it. He's killing those Furies decently, but I think it should be alright here. Let's drop this here. And we did kill those. Man, we absolutely mulched the Doom Flayers there. Valkia's coming in. Valkia's going to be real nice. She's not going to just fall apart here. She's going to be able to get some good damage on these rat ogres. And the rat ogres with the summons there are certainly getting chewed on pretty nicely. Alright, what do I do next? Probably need to get the Hounds of the Blood Hunt a little bit, into a little bit better of a position here. Just to get after the Skaven Slave Slings. What is up with the Blood Shrine? How's it doing? Oh my god, dude. It is wrecking house on some Skaven right now. That's real nice. The, Cultists are struggling a bit, but that's fine. We're getting in here. I've got a really good Sloughtmere target right now. The Storm Vermin Halberds are going to take a bunch of damage here, and then the Summon should be able to help finish these guys off there. And we're going to pop Horn right here and just keep grinding through. Oh, the crew actually got back out here. And he's got what looks like the Teeth Breakers in position, doing some nice damage against me for sure, but luckily my guys are pretty low to the ground, and are kind of soaking up that damage pretty decently. I should be in an okay position there. And maybe some Chaos Knights, or maybe, I think actually just Marauder Horsemen. They're going to get out here, they're going to throw against these guys. We've broken a lot of his units in here. I don't want to just soak fire up from the weapon team there. We've got a very vulnerable Skrulk here. So we're going to get after him. We'll see what we can do against him. We've broken most of his front line. His front line is just completely screwed now. So we'll just keep pushing into the backfield with what we've got. Trying to get after the more expensive targets that he has. Dodge a little bit. Don't want to just let this thing get killed here. It should be almost out of range. It is very slowed down by the suppression effect. Suppress is a great ability. It's very efficient at slowing targets down. And yeah. Alright, we're going to get more Horsemen. Horsemen, since the slings are all gone for the most part, they should be in a nice spot now. And we've got him very pushed back. The Wolf Rats are going to do a decent amount of damage, but I should be able to just flatten them with my superior units here. We've got some Bloodletters to do something. We're going to get out of here with the Blood Shrine. Blood Shrine's going to take a bunch of damage if we're not careful. Valkia also needs Demon Shield. Demon Shield's going to cover her up nicely. Man, his shooting is getting really aggressive. He's grinding back a decent bit of value here, but I should be able to steal this side objective here. I've got the remains of a bunch of infantry, and should be good. Should be good for later in the game, and I can bring out Minotaurs next. Because one of my units of Minotaurs is quite beat up right now. I don't have anything to get after the Teeth Breakers. Alright, fuck it. I'm curious to see how the Sword of Khorne does at clearing this artillery piece, because I have not actually managed to fully kill it, and that's a very important target for me. So if it does anything, it's still not quite able to finish it. It's very painful, man. Very, very painful. Need to get after Skrulk. Skrulk can die to the shrine there. He's got Doom Flares, more Doom Flares coming out. So we're gonna send some guys out there to help. They should be able to do something. He did unsummon the cannon, actually. Just keep getting in here, throwing axes, throwing axes. Did we get Skrulk? Skrulk, come on, dude. Take him down, guys. We gotta get him. My very tattered infantry should be able to do enough here. They're not completely helpless. They should be able to get some work done before they go down for good this time. We're chasing back these rat ogres. The Teeth Breakers are pretty vulnerable right now. We should actually get after these guys. And the Bloodletters did break the Storm Vermin up top there, man. Khorne with the buffs this patch are a lot better at dealing with these very annoying Skaven targets, actually. It was a little bit difficult last patch just because of the Doom Flares. And Doom Flares are still very powerful, don't get me wrong, but they're not quite the same world beaters that they once were. You can actually do some pretty efficient damage against them. We'll get in there, we'll collapse. I'm going to keep pushing across. Valkia is going to help clear out the rat ogres here. We've very much got him capped up right now. He's pretty bricked. good damage from the Marauder Horseman, man. We're going to pop the Relentless Rage just to save the models on my Horseman here. And focus in on getting these Wolf Rats down. Because they're right on top of my guys. They're going to do some decent damage here. Oh, man, and the Cultist killed Skrull here. Massive catch, dude. Very important. And we did break the Teeth Breakers. I'm going to send the Cultist to just keep chasing there. Valkyrie can get up in the air. She'll go across. And Doomflayer's coming out. We'll keep chasing with those Minos on some of these guys. These guys are going to move back up to the top. I'll send them into the backfield just to see if there's any room for them to make some moves. And man, the Hounds of the Bloodhunt have been huge this game.
I knew it. Unending
Hell yeah.
is yours.
GG's, dude. GG's, Swizz. I'm really liking the performance of Khorne this patch. Not too many big changes, but the few that were made was a slight gold increase on Minos, which is very fair. Minos are still incredibly powerful, and they will still pay for you 2 to 3 times over, pretty consistently. Blood Shrine didn't get a lot of value, but it got a lot of kills, and it did occupy a lot of attention from the Teeth Breakers and the Warp Lightning Cannon for a little bit there. He got pretty good value out of this artillery piece, so it proved pretty difficult to shut down as well, but luckily I was able to kind of steamroll the front line pretty hard. The Plague Monks really did not hold up well, and Bloodletters were a decent little pick in there as well. Good value on the Horsemen. Chaos Knights, I brought them just in case. They can hammer down some, they can hammer down targets pretty well. They're good against Wolf Rats. You know, Skaven players love to bring those guys, and they can just flatten them on the charge. They don't take too much damage from them, and it can be pretty cost-effective to use them as a sweeper against these very fast, disgusting little fellows, and they are decent against Rat Ogres. They used to get absolutely shredded by Doomflayers, though. I'm not sure how unfavorable that is now, but maybe we'll get a chance to find out later. Swizz? Okay. Swizz wants to be friends with me on Discord. We'll be buddies. Alright. Yeah, Skull Cannon would have been decent in that matchup, too. It's got really incredible range, so it can play pretty safely against the weapon teams and against Warp Lightning Cannons. I believe they have equivalent range, in fact. Let me actually go take a look. Because that's definitely worth knowing, in my opinion. 430 versus 380 on the Skull Cannon. So they do get outranged a little bit, but having being that close in range, and this thing being so mobile, you can still kind of kite around. You can stay out of the main area of effect of the cannons. All right, I gotta go check on bracket. Make sure everything is rolling along smoothly. Hell yeah, we got a good turnout tonight. People have been very passionate about this this patch so far. It's been really nice to see. We're all pretty excited for it, and it's been a long time coming. With the new DLC, there will be even more changes, I'm sure. As it stands right now, they just, CA said in the past they wanted to kind of tune up some of the less picked factions. And now that they've done so, apparently there's going to be big Kislev nerfs in the DLC patch, which I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how functional it is. Not a lot of people have been playing Kislev. They're sitting here at a 50% win rate right now, but I'm not 100% sure if that's just down to not a lot of high-level players playing them or not. Because really all that changed is they got a little bit of extra stats on the Frostworms. And then collision attacks, maybe, on the Frostworms too, which is really strong for their performance against infantry. I have been on the receiving end of that, and it was not fun. But they're at 50. They've been struggling against the other shooting factions, which I guess kind of makes sense. Those are the few factions that can do really well against them. Here. So this is asking, what do I think of the build, so we're just going to talk for a minute. Since we're waiting for the round to finish. He brought a whole bunch of Plague Monks. I really don't love them into Khorne. If I were playing Skaven, I wouldn't waste my time. Yeah, I mean, he's better off with clan rats if he's going to go cheap, but super elite rats, I think, actually probably might be the way against Khorne. Especially with the Doom Flare nerfs, because the Doom Flares were massively carrying Skaven in the Khorne matchup. I mean, absolute peak performance from the Doom Flares was kind of keeping Skaven from getting run over against Khorne, because they would beat Chaos Knights, they beat Fleshhounds, they killed Furies. I mean, they still kill Furies, but that's kind of what they're supposed to do. They killed Minotaurs even. They could even kill Scarbrand. Like, 2 Doom Eels, or 2 Doom Flayers could beat the absolute hell out of one of the, like, one of the more expensive lords and better fighters in the game, which was just silly. The nerf kind of made them a little bit more specialist, which is kind of what their role was supposed to be to begin with. And now that they don't just body everything they run into, I think Skaven players are going to have to go back to the drawing board on the matchup. He did do a really good job with the Teeth Breakers. Oh man, I mean, in the last patch, they really did just kind of buzzsaw through the entire Khorne roster, and you couldn't bring like a Bloodthirster to counter it, because I mean the Bloodthirster wouldn't even do that well against them to begin with, and then it's also just a big ass target for weapon teams. So if you just had like Natty Bubo's sharpshooters popping away at you, you're just like feeding value to the Skaven player. It's rough. It's rough, but much more even now. Okay, there it is. We done with the round. We got one more game left. Poison and Scrambled Egg via anime over Christopher's. Attack Speed Enjoyer beat Soy Bacta. Samurai Style beat Fabrosi. I won my game. Harrison over Shaper of Fate. Alexander Nuts beat the Space Pope. Out of region got Lahoot, and Turin had to buy this round. I gotta make sure he doesn't get another one when I push the bracket forward. That would be real shitty for him. Alright, we'll jump in here, and I'll just go ahead and set up for the next game. We'll back out of there. Just answering some questions for Swizz. Because, I mean, I do think that the Plague Monks in his build are just not the way to go. Valkia's Sleipnir by itself can clear out like 1 or 2 Plague Monks. And those are 650 gold, and that really adds up for a faction that needs a lot of help, honestly. I just feel like if you're gonna go with low armor infantry, you're better off just spamming out clan rats to just soak up damage and slowly drag down marauders. And I really think that these Storm Vermin halberds really do carry a lot of weight. They did before, they were pretty good, and I think now they're probably even more important for having a little bit of a backbone to withstand the Khornate infantry pressure. But other than that, I really don't know what Skaven do against Khorne. Lots of Rat Ogres is probably a good idea. Yeah, Swizz is... Skaven are always tricky. They down trade into everyone, so slight inefficiencies snowball out of control. It's a pretty accurate assessment of them in a lot of ways. They've got some matchups where their infantry aren't, like, bottom tier. Turns pinging me. Round is done. Hell yes. Let's go. We're advancing Swiss, and we'll get the next round moving along presently. Who do we got? Samurai Style. Hell yeah. Where's my boy? Have I played him before? I don't know if I've played Samurai Style. No, we haven't played before. So it'll be a 1 of 1 here for somebody. Alright, what is the map supposed to check and I've already forgotten? Talabheim, hell yeah. Always a fun map. Oh, and I need to, okay, Poison got the bye, so I'll give, Poison their points. Oh, wait, that's not right. Come on, website, please. Anytime. Oh, we got a Bretonia player? No way. Oh, greenskins. Yes, dude. Fuck yeah. It's been a while since I've had a nice greenskins matchup. Alright, this finally went forward, so we got our boy his points. Don't have to worry about that for later. Hopefully we don't have any weird back-end problems with it. Should be set up for the future. Alright. Give me a sec, guys. I will back you out of here for a moment. Alright. We're nice and set here. We're just waiting on G-Dog. G-Dog is taking a sec. Otherwise known as Samurai Style. Do we have, we got a ping here. What's going on? The round is done. Okay. So, no other issues. How are y'all feeling about the general patch so far? I feel like it's been going pretty nicely. There's definitely a couple of things that I feel like might end up needing a few restrictions and changes. I did ban the Thunder Barge for this tournament just because one of the other tournaments I hosted, watching in the grand finals, I just watched it slowly kite around a Manticore as the Manticore was sitting on top of it and couldn't even hit it because of its buggy hitboxes. And there's several factions in the game that don't have like any shooting to speak of, but would have the kind of like melee monsters in the sky to take care of it otherwise, but can't really because of that, because of those really buggy hitboxes. I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to watch somebody auto lose just because they can't kill something that they theoretically have something that they can at least do some damage to. Alright, so we're on Road to Talpheim, and it's a pretty good map for Khorne because it's got the 3 objectives that just kind of flow across the map here. There's a little bit of forest cover for some of your more expensive stuff, and you can kind of hide from enemy artillery at times. Probably won't see much of that against greenskins here. We do have the Heralds of Khorne's Fury here. I'm going to actually keep them in the trees. We're going to do some cheeky little nonsense with those guys. We didn't bring any cultists here. I do like them in this matchup, but I wanted to bring something a little bit different. And I do have the... I have durable enough infantry that I can withstand some of the missile fire. And then skull cannons are a little bit better at counter-firing archer units now. In the past, it's been very bad for Khorne in this matchup, just because Orc Airboys are kind of pretty durable for the price point that they're at. It can be a little bit difficult to kill them with just purely Furies. We got some Black Orcs here. We do have Azag. Azag's going to be pretty scary, actually. He's going to do some really nice damage to Valkia if we don't use her appropriately. But Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech, neither of which are super devastating to me. I'm not too worried about that. Spirit Leech is going to do some damage to Valkia, but we can just kind of keep her chilling over here. She doesn't have to do a lot right now. Morgrim's Magi Marauders coming out. What's my summon here in the opening? I don't feel like there's anything too terrifying out on the field yet, but I think some Minos would be a good call. We'll keep scooting up here. I'm going to move up, and I'm going to just start shooting at these guys, get a little bit of damage on them. Because they are pretty annoying. They've got really good AP on their missiles, and they fire pretty quickly. So any amount of damage that I can do just to get some early value is going to be nice. And yeah, we're just going to do a little spin there. You didn't know, but Khorne is actually a professional ballerino. It's very well reflected by the dodging abilities of the Skull Cannon, in my opinion. Good little bit of damage. Killing some more models there. We're going to focus on the Black Orcs now. We'll use Valkia just to force back the Magi Marauders. We might actually be able to get in here and maybe get on top of those guys. Scoot forward some. Azag's messing up some of my guys out here, but that's okay. We're going to push forward. We're going to start capping some of the objectives. I've been a little lax here and not on top of my game. We're going to move across. Get some throwing axes out to go throw at Azag. Do a little bit of damage to him. Come on, Skull Cannon. Please, like, actually hit here. We're going to get around the back. We might be able to do some nasty work against his archers. He does have, oh, he doesn't actually have any archers, but getting in on some of the trolls back here might be good. Should be able to do some good work against them. We're winning a little bit in the front line. We're taking some pretty decent damage from a lot of his infantry right now. But we shouldn't be too worried about it. I just need to get my units into the right positions here to deal with these guys. He's got the Broken Tusk Mob coming out. Valkia is just going to go fight those guys. She loves fighting the Broken Tusk Mob, and I'm going to send some Furies to help her do that as well. We do have a Wah going down. Wah is really nice, doing some good damage, and all my units did kind of break there, so we're actually going to pull back some. I need to get these guys back. My opponent is playing a little bit cleaner than I am. I'm kind of fumbling the bag just a little bit here. Let's keep focusing these guys down. Valkia in a big-ass fight here. She's taking a lot of damage right now, but that shouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We can get back here with my very powerful units to answer that. The Swamp Thing's going to get on top of these guys. Got to get in here, do something. And Terror Route. Why are these guys still running, man? Come on, rally, please. I need you back in here. Desperately asking for a friend. Focus in there, do some good damage. We've got a good fight here with the Minotaurs. They're fighting against the Swamp Things. They're doing some pretty good damage. Gotta get in there and do something against that. We do have rallying Horsemen. Horsemen are taking a Fate of Buna here, which isn't great, but we did crush his mobile position. So we're going to get on this objective. We've got the Skull Cannon doing nicely. We're going to kite back. My infantry, they took a bunch of damage. They're all pretty much dead outside of the warriors here, which is kind of painful. We are going to get these guys here. Let's get after them. Skull Cannon's got to run. Minos, they're doing some good damage. They just need to stay in on top of the Swamp Things. We're going to crush those guys. Get back here. Valkyrie needs to get back up in the air. Can she get out of these damn goblins? There's like 2 guys here. Completely pinning her in. Please get up in the air, girl. Get the fuck out of here, please. We're going to drop this. And just absolutely punish the hell out of that position. Going to be really nice. We're going to get after the squigs. Then we'll come back in and we'll start throwing at the black orcs. But we have the mobility advantage now. And that should be more than enough to get this matchup rolling back in our favor. Need the Flesh Hounds to go after those Gobbo Spears. The Gobbo Spears are annoying. Azag has been very deadly, and Valkia just took a shit ton of damage. But she did get a bunch of kills on some goblins, which is really nice. And we're gonna bring out the bring these guys out. And these freaking Marauders are probably gonna rout off the map because they just have a couple of random units on them, which is not good for me. We're getting in there with some pretty good combats over here. We do have the Black Orcs, or the Broken Tusk Mob on top of me here. But we are grinding through the Biggins pretty well. The Heralds of Khorne's Fury not doing too hot here. We're going to get a big pop on our army ability, though. That's going to do some good damage for me. I'm going to pop this here so that I can keep going after Azag, who is very low now. And I might be able to kill in just a moment. Kite back here. I need the Skull Cannon to escape. It's very caught right now. Which is not great. Definitely needs some assistance from it. And we did get a good rally there. That's huge. Oh man, what do I need? Infantry? I need to bring up another infantry, I think. And the Skull Cannon did rally its leadership, thank goodness. So, just barely hanging in there. He needs to just keep running away from the Swamp Things. And we'll go after him now. Try to kill those guys. And the Skull Cannon started crumbling again, but it's yet again escaping. Get up in the air, Valkia. Let's go after the Durkit Squigs. They'll do some pretty good work against my guys here. But we've got a good position here. We're going to get rid of the rest of the Black Orcs. We'll swing out over here. Make sure that we can lock that position down. And I think some more Minos. Minos coming back in the fourth quarter is going to be really good. We've got a bunch of Flesh Hounds back here that need to rally. And we'll send out the Heralds just to go finish some units off and we'll move up. I don't know why these guys dropped their order. I thought I sent them in here. We do need to support my boys over here. I've got a Sloupnir that's going to finish off the Biggins. With the assistance of the Flesh Hounds, they should be able to do some good work there. And I'll keep going after Azag here. Get the Flesh Hounds back a little bit. Send these guys in. We're getting on top of the Warlords boys here. Who are kind of, man, they're kind of railroading us there. Sneaky little gobbos, man. We'll pull back. Just keep chasing him. We should be able to catch him shortly here. He's threatening to dive on top of me, which is fine. We'll collapse with the Marauders. We'll kill these guys. And Azag's still running. Doesn't want to take the fight. Like a huge coward play there by Azag. Obviously not from my opponent. I mean, that's kind of what he does need to do here. My Fleshhounds, man, Fleshhounds just get caught by Orc Boy-Boys. Orc Boar-Boy Biggins pretty often, and they lose really hard in that combat. Not very good from them. We've got plenty of time in the game here, though. We've done a pretty good job of rallying, and I think we'll be fine. I do need to kill the rest of the Durkit Squigs. They've been very annoying here. Just managing to hold for that long. Not really good for me. Getting Azag would be a big help. I don't know how easy that's going to be, though. We've committed our Marauder Horsemen into this fight, which they're probably not going to win it. They are getting handled a little bit right now. I'm taking some pretty serious casualties. I think I actually just need to fire with the Skull Cannon into this blob, and that'll be a lot better for me. I'm going to sit on this point, retake that. Need to get back here. Hold. Let's get some Furies out to go get rid of those guys. We'll summon out more of these folks. They'll do some pretty good work. And, man, oh, this is just a regular Orc Boar Boy. They're doing some nasty work against me. I did get a nice shot in there with the cannon. We'll pop our Demon Shield just to absorb the damage. If I can just get one more conclusive fight against Azag, we might be fine. I've got the mobility here. They're going to go help out down here, maybe. Go after the Orc Boar Boy Biggins. I'm going to need some more stuff that can answer the mobility. Ooh, we've got these damn swamp things over here. I'm pushing back in with the Warlords boys. So this is going to be a tricky little fight here. I might actually need Valkia to go in. We got a decent shot there. That's nice for me. These Marauders are holding the line, dude. Absolute heroes. My units keep dropping orders because I keep giving them orders to go after units that just keep going invisible. It can be not a good idea to do that at times. It can be a little bit of like a pitfall in my opinion. We'll just drop Sword here. It'll do a little bit of damage. It should be doing just enough to finish off some of the units in here. You can see it did some good work against those Squig Herd. Did a little poke against the Boar Boys. And, yeah, Heralds just barely paying for themselves is good enough for me. We're going to fire in here against the Broken Tusk mob. We'll get some more Furies out. Furies are decent at charging those guys down. We did break the Warlords boys again. And we'll keep going after them with the Furies. And Valkia is going to go back to the middle. Just to post up in case Azag decides to start doing something here. Okay, keep grinding, keep grinding. Furies, they're gonna like fly over the top. Give shift orders whenever you can, honestly. Can do some pretty good work for you. Make it a little bit less micro-intensive for you. Alright, my opponent's gonna take that back. That's fine. We've got a big break here. We should be able to get up on this objective and just hold this now. I'm gonna save the ammo on the Skull Cannon. I'm gonna put it back in the melee mode. We'll move back here with the Fleshhounds. Furies, they're going to fly over the top and get another rear charge. Do I have I did use my last Sleipnir. And those are just regular Night Goblins, though. Oh, they're Fanatic Night Goblins, but they don't have any special, like, unbreakable... What the hell is this? Apparently this is the 8-Peak Loonies, even though it just says they're regular Night Goblins, which is interesting. We'll pop Demon Shield. I don't need to let Valkia die here. She needs to run away from Azag. He can chase me all game. He's not going to catch me. I'll send some Furies to go blob him up. Get in here with the units to try and help out the Skull Cannon, which has gotten really good value, man. It's been doing really nicely, and we'll run these guys over with the assistance from the few remaining guys we've got. It's fine. He can take that objective. We'll see what our Marauders are able to do here. They're going to move up and take this objective. Yeah, that's pretty cheeky. That's cheeky for sure. He's trying to play real cagey here with the units he's got available. But being able to take the number 1, we've got the middle objective. Valkia is just looking for an opportunity. She just needs... all she needs is an excuse. And we're probably not going to win that fight with the Furies, but we're going to be able to trade decently. We need to rally back to the point. We've got a shit ton of supplies here, so I need to start using them. Can't get more Marauders, but these Marauders will move up. I'll end some in these guys. We'll get another dual weapon. The dual weapons have been doing real nice for us this game. Get away from the spears. We'll send the Fleshhounds into the middle. And we'll just send all this to the middle and hold with the infantry. Valkia just needs to keep staying away from Azag. Just to secure their leadership, we're going to pop Relentless Rage on them. It's not the worst position to use it in. I mean, they're surrounded by a bunch of units. They're getting rear charged, and there's a terror-causing source on top of them. So this is honestly not a bad position for using Relentless Rage. It's going to stiffen their resolve up in the worst possible circumstances, and when it wears off, they'll lose a bunch of models, but they'll still be able to fight for just a little bit longer after it's gone. And maybe put myself in a decent little position here. He's just completely gassed, but still sending stuff out here. We've got more Marauders moving up. I'm going to summon out Chaos Warriors. They're going to go help out over here. He's going to get a little bit of damage done against these guys for sure, but we're still holding. We're evening out the tickets, which is kind of the entire point of just playing this balls-to-the-wall playstyle right now. You can kind of do this against greenskins oftentimes. Skull Cannons give you a lot of battlefield control, so this thing should be able to get me some good value here. Just need to actually land shots. Good damage here. I do need to get away from the big uns. I shouldn't have popped Horn. I thought these were just regular Orc boys or something, but we'll pull back and that'll be okay. It's not the worst thing to end up wasting. We'll get some more kills. I mean, greenskins will feed you army abilities for days, dude. It's very nice for you, and we're just going to keep pushing up infantry. Our very heavily armored infantry, and even our Marauders, you can see, are doing really well. Greenskin infantry definitely does not hold up in one-on-one fights, unfortunately for them. They really rely on the Wa in order to do the most damage. And look at the Heralds, dude. Still going. Still doing enough to get me some value here. They're probably going to crumble out in just a minute, but they're also debuffing, you know, melee defense and giving weakness to fire. It's only super applicable for them. They do finally crumble down, but not before we get good enough engagements to kind of crush this position. And wow, there's 2 models left with 117 health. Moon Hollers jumping on top of these guys, whatever. I don't mind too much there. We're going to try and get a good shot onto those Gabos. Let's get over here. Minos, they're going to charge down there. More Minos. They collapse on the back of the big uns, and they completely crush the leadership. So we're going to send these guys there. We're going to use them to get after the Forest Spider Riders. And Marauders have decent enough charge bonus. They'll do a little bit of poke against the spiders there. Azag completely gassed on magic, I think. And I think we've got this game in the bag. It has been really well played by my opponent, but I don't think he's got enough to retake objectives here. I'm just going to keep throwing stuff out onto the points. We'll just keep holding here. We've got Minos. They're going to do some pretty good work. They probably have full charge. Yeah, they do. On Blood Greed. Yes, baby. You love to see Blood Greed fully charged, because these guys are just going to absolutely steamroll everything they run into now. Let's just go after the Mangy Marauders. We've got it. Hell yeah. Saving these so I can go back and watch them later, so I can do a little bit of analysis on them. It's nice to, especially in losses, but even in wins where you didn't win very cleanly, it's good to go back and like get a good look-see in where your vulnerabilities and your mistakes were. I did not do very well in the beginning there. But fortunately, my opponent kind of played into my own deployment zone. He got very aggressive, despite holding the objectives. And that gave me a good opportunity to push out with my mobility and really start to overwhelm some of his flanks. And I was kind of able to cut him off from reinforcing objectives after a while. Okay. Let's see where the rest of the bracket is. That was a pretty long game, so it might be just about done here. Yeah, we've got Space Pope and Outer Regions still playing. Curious who's going to win that. I would say Outer Region most likely is just the favored player, just because of how good I know he is. But you never know, man. People upset other guys all the time. And Turing got the dub over Alexander Nuts. Who are they playing right now? Yeah, maybe my opponent could have left off some of the foot biggins. Yeah, he's saying that the Orc Boarboy Biggins aren't very good on the charge against monstrous infantry, and that they're better against Cav, which is strictly speaking true, but in this particular matchup, it's still worth doing, and taking that fight, even if the Biggins are gonna lose, which they will, just because the Minos are so much more expensive. I mean, I think they're 400 gold more. I know that the Big and Cav got a little bit of a cost increase, but, I mean, look at this. I mean, they're 900 gold versus 1350, so even if you're trading, like, trading evenly in value, like, you know, you lose your unit, but you, like, take off half the health of a Minotaur, that's pretty good. I mean, you might think that's a bad trade, but at the end of the day, being able to do that is going to be working down a much more expensive unit that your opponent is going to just have less of on the field. I mean, you can just bring absolute hordes of the Big and Cav, because you're not just limited to the regular variant. You can also bring the Biggins, the Savage Biggins, I mean. And those guys have Phys-Res. And the Phys-Res is really nice at getting into the Minotaurs. They're a little squishy against Furies, where the Boarboy Biggins with their armor are a little less so. I still think that you take the fight every day of the week. Alright, I think we're next round, which is awesome. Advancing Swiss. Beautiful. Oh, thanks, Fix-It. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the games that I lost in Turin's tournament, I was not playing very well in those 2 matches that I lost. I don't know, my performances can be a little bit up and down. I'm either, like, beating everybody or I'm losing to everybody. I'm very inconsistent. I'll fully admit that. And that Kislev match, I just wasn't ready for the ice sled. That thing just ran me over. I mean, I think Katerin got 3,000 plus value in that match, and I had nothing that could shut it down. I thought I got some good engagements against it with my Minotaurs, but she just pushed right out of the blob. And then the Frostworms with their Frostbite just got them locked into combat where the Frostworms traded really efficiently into them, and I lost that game really badly. I outplayed myself in that one for sure. And Solasora just had really efficient Tomb Kings. And I brought some, I gambled on bringing some big monsters and got kind of counterpicked to death on that one. Oh, me and Turn are playing. Hell yes, let's go, dude. Okay. Oh my god, no. Not Kislev, dude. Oh. I bemoaned my fate against them earlier. And now I gotta fight him again. I don't like my odds. I'm scared. Somebody hold me. Get me out of here. Alright. Now, let me swap it away from this. I don't want to just give up everybody's business. From Discord. Where the hell is my... Why is my window capture not working the way it's supposed to? Boo. Should be able to pull up the my Chrome browser. That's what I usually do for my screen blocker, so to speak. Ah, whatever. We'll just leave it here. I'm revealing that Turin is a really cool guy. Oh no, how terrible. It's rare that you get somebody who's like a jerk in this game. There's like a handful of people, and a lot of them have been slowly like wheedled out of the community over the years. We had some people who were like win trading back in the day really like toxically, and especially when there used to be like more money prize pools for stuff. It was really bad. Not a pretty sight, and you know, over time though, we kind of narrowed it down and got rid of them. And we're in a much better state now as a community, which I really appreciate. Man, I think I do kind of need this old boy. Just in case. I will get absolutely roasted by Kislev here otherwise, and that would be very painful. Don't want to see it happen to myself. So knowing Turin, I wouldn't be super surprised if he brings like a huge like mix-up style build that I'm just like completely unprepared for. It'd be pretty effective against me, for sure. Is this enough width? I mean, against Kislev, you really do need really hard-hitting units. You can't go... You really can't afford to go cheap against Kislev, because their units are so cost-effective that they'll just absolutely ruin your life, dude. Especially their cavalry, man. Kislev Cav hits so hard, it's just unendurable if you're not ready for it. Huh. I'm definitely experiencing mid-tournament indecision here. It hits hard, man. You gotta be really wary of it. It'll throw you off your game big time if you don't lock yourself back in. What are these guys gonna do well against? I feel like they just die. See, the problem with this matchup for Khorne is that you don't have a lot of wiggle room on, like, building outside of the box. You really are kind of narrowed into a couple of different playstyles against Kislev, just because you have to account for the, cheesier units that they've got their hands on. You really don't want to give them any room to just get free value against you. Oh, I know. Turin is, he's playing a win. Okay. Damn. You think there's going to be an elemental bear? I mean, maybe. I think I've got the tools to deal with it right now. I don't imagine that it'll be impossible for me to kill with my current setup. I'm just indecisive on what this last little bit of gold I'm going to be using is going to be for. Alright, I guess I'm ready. Incoming third round loss. I don't think I've gotten through a tournament in the last, like, 6 months where I didn't lose in the third round. I swear it's cursed for me. We're going to have to play really carefully here. Kislev's got so many good strategies, man. Alright. Celestial Lake should be alrightish for me. I think what would ruin me, absolutely and unequivocally, would be like a Streltsy line. Because I don't think I have quite enough tools to deal with that. I don't have any Skull Cannons in the opener here. I do have one in reserve. As for the rest of my stuff, I've tried to just bring heavily armored infantry so I don't get massively out-traded by Kislev, because their cavalry just runs over all my marauders. Marauders are just not heavily armored enough to be able to survive any kind of a charge from the winged lancers. Even Costified dervishes kind of run over marauders. Now I know some of their stuff got some cost increases, but it's just not. It's not enough. I don't think it was breaking Kislev out of their current Dark Lord status. We'll try and get up to the middle, but if he's got horse archers, then we're going to have to pull back. but it is a decently small army. The thing that I'm super worried about is, oh wow, what the hell is this? He does have the horse archers, so those are going to be very annoying. I think that means that Skull Cannon comes out. Skull Cannon should be able to do a little bit of damage to this. This is just a heal blob. He's going to be trying to just play on that objective all game. Oh. Huh. He's got an eye switch here. Yeah, but I can't get after her with Karanak. I do have Karanak, but I don't think he's going to be able to do enough to get out there and get after the Hag Witch to make the difference for me. Let's do a little bit of dodging. Try and avoid as much of this damage as possible. I was a little too slow getting up on that point. He gave me an opportunity to, but it wasn't enough. And I think we're actually just going to go and push for his home objective. I don't really want to take the fight in the middle here. We're going to hold in the middle. We're going to hold in the trees. It should mitigate a bunch of the fire. We'll actually pull back some. And what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Yeah, I'll bring the Skull Cannon. Skull Cannon will be nice. Don't waste your ammo, dude. Is it actually going to hit? Ooh, wow. That was a shot and a half from the Skull Cannon. I cannot believe that actually landed. I'll move up in here. He's pulling back from this objective right now. Alright. We're gonna actually let him sit and shoot if he wants to. That is not very favorable for him. And I'm just gonna build up. I'm gonna build up and bring out a bunch of Minos. That's really what I'm gonna be relying on here. Looks like he's going to be pushing for me. He wants to come after these Chaos Warriors. We're going to deny him that. We're going to move the Minotaurs over, and we're going to get another Minotaur out. He can shoot at Valkia with those missiles if he wants to. It's not going to do enough against him. We'll just hold in here. We need to move up. And push. Look at the damage, dude. Oh my god, they absolutely roasted that Elemental Incarnate there. Or Incarnate Elemental. I think that we can actually hit both of these units here. And we'll get after her there. Yeah, we actually got some good damage done there. He's got the things in the woods, an ethereal one coming out. Get after this big guy. We'll shoot in here. We're trading okay. We're actually kind of holding up here. He's getting around the back with Kossovite dervishes. They're running to their doom here. They're not gonna make it. We're just firing against the horse archers here and not doing like any damage, which is very unfortunate. We'll keep maneuvering around. Don't want to give them anything for free. We're gonna use our throwing axes to go after those guys now. We're doing decently here. We're doing decent. We just need to kill the big boy here, which we should be able to do. Let's turn around and fight these Kossovite dervishes. We should be able to do some good work against them. We're collapsing in. Our halberds, man, just held up really well. We're throwing in axes against these guys. Let's get up here. We need to do something about these Zargard with the great weapons. Let's get back. How's the heal blob doing against me? It's doing pretty nicely. It's very scary here, doing a lot of damage. We need to get more Minotaurs forward. I don't know why they dropped orders, but they did. It is what it is. He is super blobbed up on my Skull Cannon right now. We're going to charge those guys down. And we're bringing out more Minos. I don't know why my Minos dropped orders like they did, but that was really painful. We're going to send these Flesh Hounds to go out here and just keep flooding more guys out here. We've got to kill the Incarnate Elemental. I really can't afford to have it. Just sit in there and just get tons of value. I need to get Valkia out of here. She should be able to push away. He doesn't have anything to like lock her in place, which is nice. And it's just a mass route here for me, which is really bad, but I do have a bit of a value lead on him. The issue is that a lot of the damage is tied up on units that, you know, maybe in a lot of ways aren't super vital for me to kill right now. Just keep fighting here. Skull Cannon's gotta start hitting some shots, man. Something. Minos coming in. Minos are gonna do some good work against the Incarnate Elemental. We need to get over here and reinforce. We need to get out here. Skull Cannon can keep shooting. And we need to kill this Elemental. I think we can do it here now. Minos, I'm going to give them big buffs, and they should be able to get the Winged Lancers here. We'll send another one here. Valkia's diving in. She's going to be able to fight this thing pretty nicely. Let's get through. Let's get through. Let's get around. Let's try and grind all this stuff down, man. These halberds are doing great for me, and the Skull Cannon's just persevering through all this garbage. Let's get after those guys. We'll rally back here. Minos, come on, please kill the big thing, guys. I really need him to. Valkia is really low. We did lose these guys. That sucks. Furies to answer these dudes. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't let this happen, please, please, please. I think I might be running out of steam here, guys. Looking real scary for me. These halberds are doing great on this objective, but I need a little bit more from it. I mean, I don't think I'm getting enough value out of my stuff right now. The Minos have been doing alright, but I don't know if it's enough, dude. I have to kill this Incarnate Elemental. Alright, maybe we can get out of here now. Chew up those Winged Lancers, pull back a little bit, and now we can fight the Horse Archers there. God damn, the Chaos Warriors over there. They're helping me out a lot. We need to unsummon all this stuff right now. We'll send a Fleshhound out here. It's so even. He broke a lot of my stuff. We're going to pull out now. Try and pull out. I don't know if we're going to be able to, per se. Can't get after that eye switch, unfortunately. Man, the Minotaurs, how are they holding in here? Oh my god. Keep going, guys. Do it, do it, do it. Swiftly! Wow, no way. Let's go. Okay. Kill those guys. We'll get in here. Furies are going to go after them. Fleshhounds disengaged. They're going to go over here, too. Come on, Valkia. Finish all this stuff off, please. I'm just going to pop this now. What are we going to do, dude? I need infantry out. I don't have a ton of options. I think the dual weapon Marauders are going to have to come in here and save me. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, though. That's the problem. He's got lots of Kislevites Warriors. We're kind of breaking a bunch of his stuff here. But again, if it's whether or not it's going to be enough is just a completely different matter. Need to get away here. He's slowly chasing the Skull Cannon around. The Skull Cannon is just not giving a shit because of its crazy armor, man. That's so wild. I'm shocked right now. Hound's barely holding in here. He's pushing into my back line. So what do we bring out? Let's bring out Throwing Axe. They will trade pretty nicely there. I think he might win just because of the inability of me to cap an objective right now. We're trading fine. We're doing a lot of damage to a lot of his units. He's got some Ice Guard coming out here, which is nice for him. Getting a little damage there. We're going to pull out now. Minos, unsummon these guys. We'll push up here. We should be able to cap the middle. Just keep going. Keep going. Valkia is going to land here and kill the Snow Leopard with the Furies now. I can pop that. Do some good damage. We'll fight here. That's fine. I need to save this for those guys. The Ice Guard with Glaives. Or the swords, actually. Because I should be able to jump on them and absolutely shred them to pieces in a second here. Halberd? Halberd's actually going to be better than the Minotaurs here, I think. So let's get back here and go run over these guys. We're somehow holding in here, just barely. I need to pull around a little bit. We need to get after those dudes. Alright, let's start shooting. Valkia. And this should just fucking wreck this unit. Watch this. Oh, I forgot they've got the spell resistance. Damn. Looks like it did just enough to be able to stop up the worst of the damage. And he brought out the Incarnate Elemental again. Which is fine. We're going to be able to grind through that potentially. Our Marauders over here, actually, are doing okay. Doing a little bit of damage. We need to get... I'm going to get another Horseman out. I need cap weight, and I need stuff that can kill that damn Elemental. Have we capped this objective yet? No. Probably need to unblob here. Come on, Valkia, get up in the air, girl. Just keep flying around over here. We're gonna charge these guys down, actually. And oh, they didn't break. Oh no, that's so bad for me. I thought they were gonna break, but they haven't. And I think that might be enough to screw me. All my stuff here broke as well. That's painful. Halberds maybe save the day here, but I think we might be cooked because my horsemen didn't get it done, man. The Ice Guard just holding up really nicely here. Being very persistent. Okay, we did manage to clear that. Bring up some Marauders to hold this point. Get out of here now. Go after these guys. Pull down here. We'll see what the Halberds can do, man. Halberds are going to have to carry me. They've got to cap that point. And I'm going to have to get into the backfield of my opponent here to finish this game off.
To the slaughter!
I just don't know if I have enough time is the problem. And my horsemen, I'm just not microing them well enough. If I were playing a little bit more on top of my game here, I think we'd be in a better position. We're going to buff all these guys up. Those Furies are going to have to wreck those dudes. We're going to pull out. We're going to turn around. We're going to fire directly into them here. Come on, Halberds. Chew through this Incarnate Elemental, please. Nah, I shouldn't have summoned in the throwing axes. They've really let me down here. And yeah, we can't get this. Turin's got this. Really well played. His blob was very dangerous, and I just wasn't able to make it happen. I think more halberds and durability on my infantry would have been better. And a little bit better micro from my horsemen would have been it. That would have definitely been enough to secure the game here. But otherwise, we played a pretty even game, and I've got to respect the play here on Kislev. Damn. Okay.
There is only defeat.
I'm gonna have to rethink it. 1,400 on these guys, man. I mean, they came in twice. Could have done a lot more. Chaos Warriors really let me down. They got ground out pretty badly. Elemental didn't do too much. Boris Ursus was really good. The Hagwitch just ruined my day, man. Those Hagwitches are something else. So maybe Karanak would have been the answer. Because it would have been a lot harder for him to answer Karanak. Like, stopping this Hagwitch up and ripping into her. So I think I should have brought that guy in to get rid of the magic. PTSD, yeah, PTSD from the last time I played Kislev. I just don't have a lot of experience against them, so I'm still trying to figure out what the best units against them are. I think I went too deep into Minotaurs as well. We'll go to the drawing board real quick. Let me check on the bracket first. So, just so nobody is waiting on me. I don't want to hold it up. There's plenty of games left. So we'll go and scheme up a different build. I mean, Valkia, I do think is the right thing to bring. I got some good Sleipnirs in there. One of them at the end there I thought was going to do a lot more damage than it did. Those Ice Guard just did not care about it at all. Karanak definitely needed to come out. I don't think you need Brass Collar of... Well, maybe you do need Brass Collar of Bloody Vengeance against Kislev. Because then you can shut down those blobs. And Prey of the Blood God I could have used to get after the Ice Witch. So, I think Karanak would be my first summon if I could redo it. I would just bring one Minotaur in the opening and one in the reinforcements. Save a little bit of money. I would bring Hounds of the Blood Hunt. With some of the extra gold that I'm saving there. I do like the halberds in the opener. Those are really good. I do like the warriors, just in case. And, I think the opener was nice. The opener was pretty clean. Although maybe I do bring the skull cannon here. And save money there. Maybe I... Huh. Humming and hawing to figure out what exactly it is that I need in this matchup here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I don't know why I have 2 skull cannons. That's too many. I like just one skull cannon against Kislev. Kislev has good answers to it. Can be a little risky bringing it. Maybe something like this? Give a couple of chevrons to the skull cannon. It does perform a little better with chevrons. It gives it extra leadership also. The leadership is a big letdown for the skull cannon. Increases accuracy, extra leadership. I don't think there's anything wrong with floating a couple chevrons on this guy. You don't have to get a 0 build every time. You can do, you can get some good benefit out of chevrons in your openers. A unit of bloodletters. Man, I really like the halberds in this matchup. They are so powerful. And Kislev has to bring Streltsy out to shoot these guys down. Horse archers, Kossars. Even the armored Kossars won't do super well against these guys. The only Kislev infantry you gotta watch out for is the Zargard with the great weapons, which did do pretty well against my halberds, but my halberds still traded pretty efficiently into them. These guys just get really good effect out of the frenzy and having a decent melee attack to begin with. So they've got 40 melee attack as long as Frenzy's up, which is awesome. It's really good. That's going to get through most units' melee defense, and they've got good armor-piercing values, too. But what else do we need here? I think bringing any more halberds than I already have is going a little too deep. I like the Marauders. They did well. Maybe just one. Nah. Ooh, maybe something like this. Get rid of that. Nah, the Brutes of the Hound are better now, but they're still too vulnerable to the shooting. I think they'll just die to whatever Kislev brings out. Alright, maybe this is the build. You don't need a ton. Kislev's going to be a pretty small army as well, so you're not going to get completely swamped by numbers against Kislev, more than likely. Unless they go really cheap. This build might not do too well against, like, an Ice Witch and Streltsy line, but it'll be pretty good against everything else, I think. So, some painful lessons, but, you know, every opportunity is a chance to get better, right? That's how you gotta think about it. Yeah, cheeky Bloodletter for sure. And yeah, the gun line. Skull Cannon is countered pretty hard by Little Grom, but Little Grom's very vulnerable to everything else that you've got access to. If you can get after Little Grom with, like, Fleshhound, I did kill Little Grom in Turin's tournament with Fleshhounds. They're really good at chewing him down. We'll just bring it sometime and test it out, because I've got answers for Katarine with Karanak. I can answer the Ice Witches and Mother Astankia as well. If your opponent goes, like, full Foot Blob, then I guess you just kind of cry, but you do have Brass Collar. It's a 55-meter effect radius. If you can get within range of the Patriarch and shut down the heals, that's locking down a lot of value that Kislev is relying on, because Salyak's Lullaby is a huge heal. If you're denying that with Karanak and he's not even in combat, you're just cackling. You're just having a good old time. And I really should have leaned into that. Halberds, self-explanatory. I mean, lots of large targets that they can do well against. And like I said, they're not even bad against Zargard with great weapons. They don't win the fight, but they trade efficiently enough that it's not a total disaster. And Bloodletters win a lot of the fights against Kislev infantry. Without breaking the bank and being, you know, a big target like the Exalted Bloodletters are. Chosen might be good situationally, but they would die to a Streltsy line pretty bad. And I like Chaos Knights just because they fight Winged Lancers pretty well. They're good at hammering down Kislevite warriors on flank charges. They kill the hell out of Kossovite dervishes. I really wish I'd had these guys last game. Because the Fleshhounds did fine, but I was just lacking that little bit of extra durability that I think the Chaos Knights can bring to the table. Alright. Round over? Should be close. Oh, it just ended. Hell yeah. Boom. Advanced Swiss. So here we are. Round 4. Who are we fighting? Ooh, we're fighting Harrison. Harrison is on Nurgle, I think. I've got pretty good tiebreakers, but I'm worried. Like, I'm going to need some big losses up here and some luck to get into the top 4. I feel like I'm on the verge of going 3-1 and falling out of it right here. But, you know, that's just going to be up to fate. I've got to win the battle right in front of me first. Alright. Road to Val's Anvil. Against Nurgle? Might be kind of tricky. What are Skull Cannons going to lose to in this matchup now? Nurgle mobility is still going to be pretty punishing against them, and like mass throwing axes into Skull Cannons can be pretty punishing. I'm definitely going to need the Horseman. I actually think I might I might mix it up here. I'll return vision to y'all shortly. Until then, you're in the dark. Alright, we're back. This is going to be a tricky matchup, dude, because I feel like Nurgle's probably going to be a very different faction to fight after the Pestigore nerf. You just saw just hordes of them against Khorne in the past, and they got hit pretty hard by the Banhammer, or by the Nerf Hammer. So, what Nurgle brings now might be completely different, and this build might be complete ass against them. So I might be walking myself into a loss here. Now, we do have a pretty favorable battlefield against Nurgle. We've got lots of objectives that are nice and laid out for us to advance across. We can play the split push game pretty well here. But, I don't know. Brought a very strange build, honestly. Certainly not what you'll typically see brought in this matchup. And this may work to my favor, or it may end up being the mistake that I just am not going to be able to recover from. We'll see what Harrison's got here. Might need to retreat from swarms of horsemen. Corn horsemen, this is one of the few matchups, I think, where corn horsemen don't do as well as their chaos variant. I think the Nurgle horsemen just outlast them a little bit better. Having poison on their throwing axes is pretty brutal. It can be very punishing for your guys. We're going to see what Brutes of the Hound can do here. I just have a feeling that for some reason they might be pretty good. They're going to be very vulnerable to Exalted Plaguebearer fire, but they've got crazy high melee attack and weapon strength. They should be able to chew through Plaguebearers and Nurglings, Pestigores if they come out. What else? They might be able to beat Chaos Warriors even. I mean, they've got decent enough AP, and their base damage is high enough they might be able to do that. And they do get these nice buffs from Berserk. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, he's got the throwing axes out here. He's probably got some stuff moving up to the high ground. Move this up. It is off fire at will. Mass horsemen as usual against Nurgle. Gonna be pretty tough to deal with, man. Gonna be pretty tough to deal with. I'm gonna need the skull cannon to get some good shots in here. We'll see if he dodges it. Pretty decent dodge. It's gonna get a couple kills, maybe? Ah, it passes over their head, man. Owie. See what we can do here. He's got an Exalted Grid and Clean one, dude. Yeah, the Exalted Guo is really nice here. Gonna be very difficult to drag down. I'm just gonna preserve my horseman back here. Skull Cannon, I'm gonna save its ammo now. I don't want it to waste a whole bunch. And he's got tons of Plague Bearers. He doesn't have any Exalted Plague Bearers, which is good for me. He can cap all he wants to. I'm gonna get up on these objectives eventually. That'll be pretty nice for me, and I think I actually bring out Karanak. Oh man, maybe I bring out Karanak. I think Karanak is a good call here, actually. Getting a nice bit of damage in here against my guys. We actually get a good shot in there for once. Yeah, we're gonna bring Karanak in. Karanak is gonna try and shut down the guy, and we gotta get the Furies moving. I forgot about the Furies. They're just all the way out here doing nothing right now. Let's get up on the objective. We've kind of gotten up here first, which is pretty nice for me. He's got a bunch of Marauders here. I'm going to actually just drive up and get a fat side shot on these guys because I can. This is how you assert dominance. Didn't do quite as much damage as I wish it would, but didn't do bad. Yeah, our horsemen aren't trading nearly as well right now. Very painful. We'll box out. We'll get the Chaos Warriors moving up here. We need to stop these throwing axes here. Don't want him to just get tons of free value against my Brutes of the Hound there. He's already doing pretty nicely, and we're gonna move up. Move up. We've got to shut down the big old Guo here. Let's get some bloodletters out here. We'll move back here. We'll use the Skull Cannon. It's gonna start getting in on these Marauders here. I'm gonna throw in. He's got Barons of the Bog coming. Oh no. Barons of the Bog are gonna be really annoying to deal with. Let's get away. Let's fire in there. Maybe charge down. That was a good shot from the Skull Cannon. Let's get out. Where's Karanak? Karanak's in here. Come on, Guo. Chase me, buddy. We're locking down the magic a little bit right now. We need to just drag him around and kite him out. He did kind of catch my Furies up in the sky a little bit. I need to get back before I just feed a ton of value from my horsemen. Getting a little damage, but not quite enough. We need to just stay in here and be frustrating and annoying. Let's get away from here. We'll swarm. We did manage to, these Furies just crumbled out, which is nice for me. Chaos Warriors, they're holding in here pretty well. We gotta get some Hounds out, actually. I think the, Hounds of the Blood Hunt will be really good here. They should be able to absolutely obliterate these guys. We need to get in here and stop up the magic now. It's the last thing that I can, afford to let, go off here, and he is going to get a fat fleshy abundance. That's very unlucky. I'm not on top of that enough. We'll get up here. The warriors, they're doing nicely. Let's get in there. Skull Cannon, what are you up to, buddy? Gonna need you to start breaking some positions here for me. Let's get our hero squad out. My hero squad's going to have to start doing a little bit more damage here than I'm getting out of them. We'll throw in against the Barons of the Bog. We should be able to do pretty well against those guys. Kind of getting overrun on the number 3 objective. I think the problem is that I don't have enough to clear out his units here. Maybe some more Flesh Hounds, they'll come in here. Getting kind of overwhelmed right now. Let's go in here. See what the Skull Cannon can do. These Brutes of the Hound are holding up nicely, and so are my Chaos Warriors, man. Let's get my Marauders back. We're pulling a bunch of his units out of position here. We're going to get a good side charge. Let's get in here. I'm going to keep grinding here. We are behind in value. We are probably not going to be able to get this done here. A little worried right now. Let's buff this guy up a little bit with Deathbringer. Try and get back up in the air, maybe, actually. Munch him down, boys. Let's get the buffs going. Barons of the Bog have got to die here. I cannot afford to have them in the late game. My mobility's doing fine. It's just the infantry fight where I'm losing really badly, man. The Guo is just like grinding me down, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish off enough of his infantry to be able to get myself into a position where I'm like dominating him in value. Let's get some terror routes here, maybe. See what the Skull Cannon's able to do. Skull Cannon, if he can get down here, might be able to do some work. We're grinding out some more Plague Bearers. Oh, that's the Frolickers bubonic. I don't want to waste my time against them. Let's get out of here with the Skull Cannon. Come on. Maybe get back up in the air. Karanak and my my goon squad not doing enough gooning right now. You know, not that kind of gooning. Get your head out of the gutter. We're gonna actually go up here. I don't think he's got anything here. I think I can cap this objective.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to get away from the Guo with my Lord right now. We're actually going to countercharge here. That should be a good fight for us. And maybe now I bring out a Minotaur. I just don't know what I'm going to do, man. I mean, there's just so much stuff here that I've got to grind through. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in time. Little bit thin on the ground. The Brutes of the Hound have done okay. I mean, at the very least, they're holding nicely. I'm just not on top of Big Boy there. And I feel like he's going to be a little bit unmanageable for me in the late game. Let's get the Minotaurs out. See what we can do. We're gonna charge these guys down. We're gonna get in here with the Bloodletters. Try and make something happen. We're gonna get out here. It's a good stream of corruption. We're gonna get away. Run. Should be able to outmaneuver this and swap units in. We're kind of breaking his unit here. These Pestigores are suffering pretty badly right now. Let's get away from the Frolickers. I don't want to fight them. I'm going to send this Skull Cannon to go deal with those guys. Because they should be able to, like, actually grind them down. Hounds of the Blood Hunt. They didn't pay for themselves. That sucks. The Minos are going to come help against the Plague Toads. Karanak and my boy are going to come up here and try to do this. While we get those guys moving across. Fury's going to go in here. We've broken that position. That's huge. We're gonna get after these fleeing Pestigores, and we're gonna commit to killing the Frolickers bubonic. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay alive. I've got to get a triple cap, and it's just not gonna happen here. I'm not trading poorly. I'm just not getting enough value here. Fuck it, we're gonna nuke the Pestigores here. We're gonna see what it can do. Just to clear these guys out and maybe get my Bloodletters free. I took a little bit of damage and we might actually be able to kill Guo, which would be pretty huge. Skull Cannon, please get in there. Kill those guys, kill those guys. Let's push up here. Bloodletters just to get through those Marauders. Maybe that's gonna be enough. Oh, we're actually killing the Guo here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's kill him, kill him, kill him. Somehow, some way, we're going to win this game. I'm fucking determined. It is not going to end up being a loss for me. Absolutely refuse. How I get this done, I'm not 100%, but we're going to try. Take the charge here. Maybe these guys are going to be able to win this, even. Keep going, just buffer those guys out. Let's get the Minotaurs through. Minos have got to kill these Plague Toads and stuff. We're going to kill these Bloodletters. We've got like 3 Brutes of the Hound there somehow still. Those guys are absolute heroes. And we're going to get the Hounds of the Blood Hunt out here. Please! Ah, it's not going to be enough. I'm not going to be able to do this in time. We got the Lord and stuff, but I don't think we can finish. Ironically enough, we can't finish, guys. No! Classic Nurgle outlasting me, man. Pain.
There is only defeat.
Bloodthirster did nicely, and so did Karanak, but I could have been just a little bit more on top of my micro there to push myself over the top, and I don't know. I think maybe I could have brought some dual weapon warriors that would have been a little bit more efficient. Because my Chaos Warriors, they held okay. Kind of lost a lot of their combats, though, at the end of the day. The Exalted Bloodletters are too expensive. Scarbrand with Rage Embodied, rampaging the Exalted Guo out of position, maybe, is another option. We'll go back to the drawing board for it and figure it out. Both games lost on points, not trades. Yeah. Happens. I mean, that's not the worst loss in the world. I mean, I can accept that one. I definitely needed to do a little bit more to get it working out there. Man. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't see y'all pinging me in the Discord in time. That's my bad. But if you ever get a double buy and there's somebody else like out there who you can play against, you should definitely take the opportunity to play them. That way you're actually like getting a game in. Alright, let's go see what's going on with all the Swiss points right now. Honestly, they should just get in there and just play the match out as soon as possible. Got a few people still finishing up games. So, J-Swizz and Christopher's. One, two, three, four. Alright, we're just outside of the top here. If I had won that game, I think we would have ended up in the top 4, actually, because a lot of my opponents actually managed to get a dub there in the last round for the most part. Alright, I gotta get in here and figure out what exactly is going on with all the points. Soy Bacta and Lahoot are playing. They played one another again. They played twice, actually. Wow, okay. Bacta won both games. What's up, Dark Age? Turin is top 4. I probably will stream his game if I get an opportunity to. Oh, and Bompy, what is the play that game? I mean, you can try and nuke an Exalted Great Unclean One. Maybe, I mean, my guys did really well when they got on top of him. Maybe if I had just stayed on the Guo the entire game, Karanak and Exalted Bloodthirster might have been able to kill him. And then I might have not struggled so much. I played it a little too casually. I kind of outplayed myself on it, I think. If I had just committed to grinding him down with my combat characters, I might have won it. The problem was Barons of the Bog being in there, debuffing everything. It's very difficult to stay on top of that guy. And it was just kind of painful. Alright. Just doing some admin work, guys. We've got some consternation going on at the end of the tournament here. We did have someone drop before the final round, and it gave 2 people buys. The website does not auto-adjust to just give people who are overlapping on buys games against one another, which really sucks. If you're ever in one of my tournaments and you see that, just play one another. If you're seeing another person who's also got a buy because their opponent dropped out in between rounds, just jump in and play that person. I'll set it up so that you get the credit for your win or loss. Because it's easier to do retroactively And beforehand, I have to catch it before I get into a game if I'm actually playing in the tournament. And from there, there's really not a lot I can do. It's just not fair to, like, make everybody else wait while people play out a game. It wouldn't be skin off my back, but I know, you know, lots of people have other stuff that's going on outside of the game for themselves. So let's see. We're in here. We're going to advance the top 4 now. I'll ping everybody. At a region, at Turin, at Via Anime 1, and Harrison, I'm pretty sure was in the top 4 too. Yeah, squeaked in with the victory over me. Really well deserved. Harrison's got a good chance of winning this. I do believe that Nurgle's got pretty favorable matchups against all of the other factions in the top 4. Usually when Harrison loses in the semis, it's usually in a really unfavorable matchup for Nurgle. So I'd be curious to see how he does here. He might be able to make it happen. Alright, I am gonna actually... how do I set myself up as a spectator here? What the hell? What do you do here? So funky, man. You gotta love CA lobbies. They make absolutely no goddamn sense. Whatever. We'll wait for them to make a lobby. And I'll just jump into whichever one they end up setting up. Alright, here we go. So we've got Turin and Harrison coming in here. Kislev versus Nurgle. Nurgle doesn't have a terrible matchup against Kislev. Kislev does have really good shooting, which Nurgle can struggle with at times, but fortunately for Nurgle, it's not like Ogre Kingdoms or like Grand Cathay or stuff like that, where it's like really brutal. And with the healing, they might be able to get into combat against the Kislevites in time to preserve themselves enough to make something happen here. It is on Eastern Isle Colony. Very fun map. Absolutely one of my favorites. Very aesthetic, and it's got some good objective play on it. It does have home objectives in a contested center, but the points that are home objectives are actually close enough that you can do some pretty cool aggressive pushes up onto them and have some interesting objective play from there. So we'll see how our opponents, or how our contestants here end up playing that out. I'm going to reach out to the other side of the bracket so I can get the other semis game, and I'll probably cast that for tomorrow. I'm going to be going on a bit of a camping trip in the middle of the week, so I'm going to be like mass recording stuff and scheduling it to release over the course of the week while I'm gone. So that'll be a couple of the semis games from some of my tournaments, some of the other community replays that I've found, and some stuff that other people have sent me. Just so that there's a little bit of stuff for y'all to watch while I'm gone. What's the rundown on the factions other than Turin's Kislev and Harrison's Nurgle? I actually don't know. I don't think Via Anime is playing Skaven, which is a bit of a change for Via. Via is very much a Skaven main. I think might be on something else today. I think Chaos Dowie. Come on. Outer Region is playing Empire, and Via Anime is playing Chaos Dwarves. Empire versus Chaos Dwarves is going to be a really wild game, so I really want to see that. I really want to see that replay on that. Let me message them real quick while Turin and Harrison are getting ready. Outer Region. And I'll hit up Via as well. Alright, Outer Region's gonna hook us up. Did you play in the tournament, Dark Age? I don't remember seeing you in bracket. I did see some of your matches in Turin's tournament. You did really well. You got a little unlucky matching up against Soli in that tournament. Soli was absolutely cracked on the Tomb Kings. Alright, welcome to semifinals, guys. Turin and Harrison will be kicking off here in a minute. We'll be chilling for a bit. Maybe scheming out some builds. I mean, I'm curious to see what they're gonna be bringing. I might actually, I'm gonna be rude. I'm gonna kick y'all over to the abyss while I take a peek at the builds here. All right, sweet. Alright, they're kicking it off here, and Turin is actually bringing the same build that he was using against me in our matchup, where I was playing on Khorne. He was on Kislev on Celestial Lake. It's pretty much the exact, I think it is the exact same thing, just 3 Kislevite Warriors, 3 Horse Archers, Incarnate Elemental of Beasts, the Ice Switch on the Chariot. That Chariot and that Ice Switch, man, with the Flock of Doom, absolutely nasty. Really filthy business. Boris Ursus on foot with the Patriarch on foot is a really nice little blob of devastation. And Harrison, I noticed, has the Chaos Lord mixed in here. Chaos Lord is a really underrated combat lord. And something that Berserk, VM Berserk brings a lot. If you've ever watched him play, one of the best kind of off-meta high-level players that you'll run into. Brings a lot of really wacky builds from my personal experience of watching him. So Harrison taking a little bit of a page out of Berserk's book here. Yeah. Oh, you're busy with schoolwork? Jumped in for first of the season. You did really well for being out of practice, and yeah, I think you probably would have done a lot better with just like one more game against Soli. So yeah, Boris Ursus coming in here. Boris is one of the like absolute nightmare foot characters to go up against. Insanely tanky. And the, what is it? The Shardblade? Yeah, Shardblade is a Spirit Leech with a slow. And it's pretty devastating. It does some serious damage. He's got Fury of Urson here, which causes a terror. So he might actually get some terror routes against the Pestigores. Although I do have to say that the Incarnate Elemental, I mean, having terror on it already, definitely going to be able to do a little bit of that itself. And Beast Magic here. Nurgle, lots of Pestigores, and, man, just Pestigores into the sunset, dude. Look at this mass of those. Noxbringer to kill Ammunition, Chaos Sorcerer on horseback, and the Chaos Lord coming in here. Chaos Lord is going to be in a really nice position here to get some good value. I mean, has 6,400 HP, Cloud of Flies gives him extra melee defense, so he's got 71 melee defense once he's been in combat for 15 seconds. The Father of Blades is a really nice ability. It gives some nice debuffs and a little bit of armor-piercing damage. He is on the Rot Beast, so those AP values are really high. 390 AP at base. Icon of Eternal Virulence is also going to be doing a lot of debuffing in this blob, so it's going to be Battle of the Blob builds, but I think Kislev's is a little bit stronger here. First few shots from the Noxbringer don't get any value to speak of here. I feel like maneuvering the Noxbringer around a little bit to get some shots on the Horse Archers here down this angle would be pretty nice. Destroying the ammo on those guys definitely going to help the Pestigores out a lot. We do get some nasty damage from the throwing axes out here. The Incarnate Elemental does have Fizz Res, but no missile resistance on top of that means it is still pretty vulnerable to the poke here. And while there is decent healing from the Patriarch, there's only 3 of those, and it's not going to outlast the damage from these throwing axes. So Kislev's going to have to do something to maneuver around and poke these guys off before they just absolutely ice the Incarnate Elemental here. Does get Saliak's Lullaby, and you can see the Pestigores absolutely massacred here, and they're routing off the edge of the battlefield very oddly here. Taking an awful route here, where the Kislevites are probably going to be able to chase them off real easy here. Kislevite Warriors getting absolutely pounded, though. Taking huge damage. And Boris Ursus popping the Shard Blade. Doesn't really have any good targets on top of him for it, though. Little bit of a inefficient use out of that. Or wait, actually, no, that's Urson's Fury of Urson. Never mind. I saw the little mini effect area. He has used it. I don't know what he was using it against, but big routes from Nurgle and Kislev, respectively. All the SCs in here doing a lot of damage, though, and holding pretty nicely. Boris Ursus with his big stats, not taking too much damage, and the Chaos Lord has found the Incarnate Elemental here. Getting some big attacks in against this big beastie. But Incarnate Elemental does have magical damage. Also has pretty good weapon strength, so even with all the debuffs on him, still doing about 300 AP, getting in there and slapping against this guy. Maybe going to be able to hold out against this Chaos Lord, who's doing his best to put the game on his back, but we do have a horde of Kislevite warriors piling in on top of him. Boris Ursus making his way over. If Boris Ursus gets his halberd in on top of this Chaos Lord, it's going to be nice out for this guy. Winged Lancers come in, helped clean up the Pestigores, and we do get some Ice Guard with the bows here to counterfire the throwing axes. While on the home objective of Kislev, Armored Kossars taking a fight against the Marauders with great weapons. Pestigores getting on top of some of the Horse Archers here. Really nice for Harrison. Turin lapsing a little bit with the micro, and very aggressive value lead here from Harrison so far. Getting up by about 1,000 on top of Kislev, with some good healing from Kislev in the mix. Is probably a little closer, but we are going to get a huge Fleshy Abundance on top of the Chaos Lord here. Down to about half health, so definitely needing that big heal. Getting out of that very nasty situation against Boris, though. Definitely going to be able to persevere here. Maybe get in for a second round fight in the later stages of the game. Very close on tickets. Nurgle did get pushed off the home objective back here, and the Horse Archer Blob just absolutely flattening the Pestigores out here, man. Getting another nice rat on those guys, and these Pestigores from Harrison being very aggressive. Definitely overextending out here, and with the surround from the Zargard with great weapons, definitely going to get taken to task, these guys. Going to be losing them. Definitely a big loss for Nurgle out there, but they are holding on to the middle objective pretty nicely. Very wounded Marauder Horsemen, doing their best to get attacks in on the Incarnate Elemental. How many Salix Lullabies are left? Man, there's 2 of those left. Definitely need to get in here, though, to help out Boris Ursus, because the Chaos Lord, after getting that big heal, did turn right around and get back on top of him, doing nasty work against Boris. But another Salix Lullaby, just really well done by Turin, getting those absolutely huge heals, stacking up all of the really important SEs together, and popping it at the perfect time. So, Incarnate Elemental, Boris getting a little bit of essential healing there. And Winged Lancers, they've gotten pretty good value. I mean, 700 thereabouts, not like perfect performance from them, but more than enough to, you know, help push back some of these horsing axemen guys. The Marauder Horsemen. Horse Archers firing in. Ice Guard stacking up some good damage. Firing after the Noxbringer. It looks like a lot of their ammo did get destroyed, though, by the Noxbringer, which is a really good use out of this guy. He does have this ammo destruction ability, Cloud of Erosion, which is doing a lot of favors for Harrison. Definitely mitigating a lot of the effective shooting that Kislev can bring to the table. Forcing the Horse Archers to charge into combat a little sooner than they'd like, I'm sure. Chaos Lord, though, man, just continuing to grind into the SEs here is really not paying off for him. Taking a lot of damage yet again, having to pull out. He gets another Fleshy Abundance. He's probably going to be close to healing cap. And there's still a little bit room on the Incarnate Elemental and Boris. One more Saliox Lullaby, and then I think it's worth unsummoning the Patriarch. I think it would be a good idea to get some more healing out here for the Incarnate Elemental. It does have plenty of healing cap space. Boris Ursus and all of the Kislevites get right on top of the objective and steal it out from under the Nurglings here. We've got some Pestigores pushing out to the number 3 yet again, but Kosovoite Dervishes getting some cost-efficient charges in here, shattering one of the Pestigores, another breaking, and a third one in here, man. Just hordes and hordes of Pestigores coming in and just getting absolutely nailed by the Kosovoite Dervishes and the Zargard here. Pushing them off, persevering and holding this objective very nicely. And I actually think Turin could be in line for getting a nice bit of aggression out onto the number 2 objective here. Nurgle's very haggard back here, doesn't have a lot to answer. Is sending some Plague Toads up. But the healing from the Kislevites is proving to be a lot more sustainable for them than the healing for the Nurgle forces right now. Chaos Lord on top of the Ice Guard. Not a bad fight because these guys aren't the glaive variant. They just have the swords. I really do think that the sword variant, though, personally is better. Just because they can kill Furies very efficiently. They've got really good melee defense and melee attack. And with the magical attacks, obviously, they can chew through the Furies pretty well. Which you really haven't seen a lot of from Harrison so far. Big damage from the Flocks of Doom and the Mortis Engine from the Incarnate Elemental, just sucking the life out of all of these very dangerous Nurgle warriors. And we've got more Pestigores coming out here. This is like the second summon of these guys. Harrison has just been throwing them at the wall, man. Trying desperately to grind through the Kislevite forces here. Chaos Sorcerer hiding in the woods. And the Plague Toads do take a fight against the Horse Archers, doing some good damage there. Turin's hiding the Kosovoite Dervishes in the forest here, which is very cheeky. Maybe waiting for Harrison to overextend off to just push up and maybe take this. And we do have the Ice Witch getting kind of low back here. Getting some pretty good value. 1,400 so far. Getting up to about 1,500 now. And yeah, Boris Ursus back on top of the Chaos Lord. Getting some big halberd attacks in there with the AP and the magical damage. Definitely doing really nicely here. This guy doesn't actually have Phys Res. I don't know why I thought he did. Maybe just because he's on the Rot Beast, I could have sworn, but... Not super impactful against the Chaos Lord, but against the Noxbringer, it's going to be much better. Nice Fecundity from Harrison. Getting a little bit of healing on that guy. Using it very aggressively to get after the Hag Witch, who I don't know if it's got any more casts of Flock of Doom there. But tickets very even. Value pretty even too. Harrison's still with 1,000 value lead right now. But just for some reason, not able to swing taking this middle objective back. Kislev with a very strong presence on their home objective. I'm telling you, man, I really do think the Zargard could push up here. Now that there's a Kislevite Warrior on this back objective here, you can leave the Kislevite Warrior and push forward the Zargard. But it looks like Turin's going to be moving both of these units up with the Kosovo Dervishes to hammer home against these Marauders, who are going to get absolutely wrecked by those guys, given the right circumstance. Kind of losing momentum here in the middle is Kislev. Lots of Marauder Great Weapons and regular variants moving up. We've got the Frolickers Bubonic pushing out as well. Flocks of Doom still being cast by this Hag Witch, man. It's just absolutely cackling back here. 1,800 value on this caster. We do have some more Winged Lancers coming out. They're trying to hammer home, but they're taking damage from the Blisterback ability. So they're going to be maneuvering away from here. I think what Turin's doing here, he's probably just going to continue to grind with what he has, forcing Harrison to continue to bring units up here, and then maybe counter push on the other side. We do have the Kislevite Warriors finding the Nurgle Sorcerer, diving a little too deep here, and the big halberds coming in, getting disgusting amounts of damage layered up on top of this Nurgle Sorcerer. He was about full health last time I checked on him when he was hiding in the trees here, but very stuck up on these halberds, and losing the caster here would be pretty bad. Don't know how much magic he has, but, you know, that is cap weight that you're losing out on. Kislev getting very aggressive back here. The Kosovo Dervishes, they are going down, but the Zargard with the great weapons moving in, layering their attacks in on top of these Marauders. Maybe going to break these guys. The leadership is just barely holding, and now Turin's going to be pulling back and trying to get away from the horde of Plague Toads coming in. Look at all these Plague Toads, man. Hounding down these very elite Zargard and starting to get some really cost-efficient damage on top of these guys. Really nothing to do about this for Turin. Winged Lancers do get pushed back. The Nurgle Sorcerer did go down, it looks like. Ah, barely alive back here. Very fortunate for Harrison to get this guy away. And a big Fleshy Abundance going down on the Noxbringer here. That's a lot of gold value that he's recouping from the very even damage totals so far. Nurgle is holding on to the middle objective. Little bit of an advantage for Kislev here in the fourth quarter so far in terms of tickets. But losing a Zargard out here, really nice micro from Harrison. Maneuvering these guys out of the middle once he knew he was going to cap this, and getting back out here to get this really nice trade against a very expensive unit. Kislevite Warriors holding on the back objective. Harrison putting a little bit of pressure back here now. Kossovite Dervishes countercharging Pestigors. Kossar Spears holding in. Hagwitch assisting as well. 1950 value on her. Is this a Little Grom? Little Grom coming out in the fourth quarter. 400 value on this guy already. Firing in at the Noxbringer. Let's see if I can actually land some shots here. Keep an eye on it. Man, Boris Ursus has been going all game. Still hanging in here with the Patriarch. These two guys, just absolute best buds. And providing a little bit of assistance to one another, but no Saliak's Lullabies on standby now, and the hordes of Nurgle dragging down these Kossovite Dervishes. Haven't gotten a lot of value out of those guys, unfortunately, but a good shot from Little Grom, lowering the health on the Noxbringer. We'll see if they're able to manage it here. I don't know if Turin's going to be able to hold. The Zargard somehow surviving out here against the Plague Toad hordes, and a deep set push onto the number 3 objective from Nurgle yet again. They've been scrapping back and forth across the plains here the entire game, man. Just back and forth. Nurgle forces these Pestigors holding in with the Chaos Lord, buffering up their leadership, keeping them stable, and actually managing to break the Winged Lancers and Kossovite Dervishes here. Chaos Lord, where's he going to go, man? He's going to have to find a nice little position to get into. The throwing axes getting some damage against the dervishes here. Curse of the Slug, really nice targeting from there, from Harrison there. Slowing these guys up, giving time for the horsemen to get some good value. Chaos Lord going to do a little bit of buffering for those guys. Going to get a rear charge with the Kosophite dervishes now, trying to help out the Kosophite warriors who are holding against these pestigors and the plague toads here. Or sorry, these are marauders. Marauders getting some good value, up to 552. And we've got the plague toads grinding in as well. They've also paid for themselves pretty efficiently there. These plague toads continuing to just... Look how scattered the Zargard are. They've been getting ping-ponged around out here. Haven't really gotten anything done up to this point. A little bit of value, but just being stuck here in no man's land, being killed by these disgusting beasts, really not the situation they want to be in. And more pestigors coming out. Look at the unending tide, dude. Just more pestigors, more marauder great weapons. Just tides and tides of Nurgle infantry. Getting in here and finally grinding down Boris Ursus. 2100 value on this guy. Patriarch falling to the horde of marauder great weapons here. Man, look at this. Harrison really getting aggressive with holding this objective now. More than enough infantry here to just hold this for who knows how long. An interminable period at this point. And the home objective taken away from Turin now too. Nurgle with the healing and all of the infantry swarming. Just slowly grinding down Kislev. Kislev not able to hold there. Really well played by Harrison with the heal blob. Very persistent play there. Really well done. And Turin definitely almost had that in the bank there. Just not able to outlast the Nurgle forces, though. Let's go find Harrison. He definitely needs some props after that one. Yeah, Turin thinks if he had just called in the Incarnate Elemental again, he'd be fine. I think in retrospect that would have been the best thing for him to bring. That's a little bit of a feels bad moment, especially when you're doing so well. I mean, so well for so long in the early game there. Pretty good value on the Incarnate Elemental, 1900 that first go around, and just being durable cap weight for it as an SE. That can also Mortis Engine down all of these infantry, I think would have been a really good situation. And it would have forced the Chaos Lord and the Noxbringer and the Chaos Sorcerer to re-engage on that middle objective a lot sooner. Would have helped out Boris Ursus and the Patriarch with their fight in the middle there. They were just holding against the tide for so long, but they just couldn't get through all the infantry. You know, he's really good against large targets, but doesn't really have any AoE that can effectively deal with the infantry swarms that Harrison was relying on here. Good value from the throwing axes, 1100 and 1200 on each of those guys. Good value on all the infantry. Some of these pestigors paying big dividends here. 1500 on this guy. Came in a couple of times, but still pretty nice value from it. Horse archers were a little inefficient here. They didn't have great targets to shoot at, and the Noxbringer destroyed a decent amount of ammo on them as well. Ice Guard, they did really nicely. They were holding in there as well. Man, oh man, I don't know what you bring in the future to deal with this particular playstyle is Kislev. Have to go to the drawing board to feel it out. Alright, guys. Let's go get our finals game rolling. We've got Harrison, and who won the other side of bracket? I haven't even checked yet. I've been so busy talking with Turin. We've got Outer Region and Harrison. Oh, man. Okay. So, Outer Region is on Empire. That might be pretty tough for Harrison, but, I mean, I thought Kislev was going to be a little bit hard for Nurgle to grind out, and just staying persistent there up to the end was all Harrison needed to do to take that game. Maybe he's going to be able to do something similar here, but Empire has a lot more cost-efficient shooting that they're going to be able to lean on. Alright, I don't know why it's not letting me, there we go. Let me make sure I don't give the game away. We'll swap away for just a second. Alright, we're good. So, Halls of Carrick-Doom is going to be our finals map. It is a home objective style map. Each player is going to have one pretty deep set, honestly. This one's a little bit different from Eastern Isle Colony. It's got a very similar setup, where the center objective is offset to one side, but the home objectives are much farther apart on this one. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Harrison to be able to like push up and get aggressive onto his opponent's home objective. And the same thing for Outer Region. But Empire do have a little bit better mobility, I think, over Nurgle, especially with the changes to the Griffites. I feel like the Royal Altdorf Griffites are going to be a big X factor here if they're on the field. They did get Glorious Charge, and they might be able to just out-trade Harrison's tools here. I'm wishing Harrison some good luck. Need my clanmate to bring home another dub for RTK. Alright. I'm going to swap y'all away for a second. I really want to... I'm going to get a sneak preview for y'all. Ooh. Oh my god. Some pretty aggressive builds here. That's really all I'm going to say for now. They're almost done picking. They're going to be kicking it off here right now, actually. Damn. You gotta love when players are on top of getting their builds sorted out quickly. It can definitely be a bit of a feels bad if everybody's just waiting for ages while people are trying to figure out what they're going to be bringing. I was worried for Harrison too, but the Nurgle infantry spam, that was just relentless stuff. It was amazing. Yeah, Jared, so what Turin was telling me, I was talking with him on Discord after his match, he was saying he would have brought in the Incarnate Elemental again, and then had more Winged Lancers in the build, because the Winged Lancers are so good at killing Pesties and other low-armored targets. They're really good against, what are they called? The Plague Toads as well. They'd have absolutely obliterated the Plague Toads. And Turin just felt like he didn't have enough killing power to grind through all of those guys. So, here we are, Halls of Carrick-Doom. You know, if you've ever read, I believe this is the Dowie Fortress that Gotrek and Felix go and visit in one of the earlier novels. If y'all haven't read Gotrek and Felix, seriously go check it out. They are some of the coolest goddamn stories. Like, some of the easiest reading, the pulpiest of pulp fiction. There really isn't anything that you can complain about. I mean, it's not the most, like, complex writing, but it's really not bad. I kind of enjoyed the hell out of them. So we've got just hordes of spearmen for the Empire here. We've got a Great Cannon. Great Cannon going to be trying to control any big monsters from Nurgle that might be coming out onto the field. Although, as you can see, it's going to be just infantry spam into the sunset for Harrison. I mean, Marauders, Nurgle Marauders with the great weapons and Pestigores, all of which are going to get nice and aggressive, but some Outriders with the grenade launchers, man. No answers for these in the opening from Harrison, and these guys might just absolutely obliterate the Pestigore line in the early game. More Spearmen out here on the side to go grab the objective. These guys are going to grab the home objective. All of the other infantry going to be moving up to the middle here. I'm going to get some good overwatch from the cannon as well. Really good positioning in the early game from Outer Region. Getting really aggressive with the Outriders with grenade launchers might be nice for the home objective push. Or just coming out around here. Now that there's some Furies coming, I think you go over to the middle and start grinding against these Pesties. Furies absolutely destroy Outriders. So, Outer Region, though, definitely has the micro to avoid the worst of it there. Early cannon fire, not getting tremendous value, but actually getting a good ricochet there and killing a few models off of the Marauders. So, a little bit of luck here in the early game for Outer with the Great Cannon. First volley of the grenades, getting on top of the Pestigores, doing a little poke. Good job of kiting back from Harrison, avoiding the worst of it, and using these Furies. There's nothing else to kind of shoot these guys down, but now that there's swarms of Free Company militia, it's going to be a lot more dangerous for these Furies to get in and try and buffer for their infantry, and you knew it was going to happen. Someone was going to bring the Master Engineer on the steam tank, my mortal nemesis, probably my least favorite unit to see in the game. We'll see how broken he is now. The big problem is that grenade launcher that he's firing from the top, destroying everything around him, and just absolute brutality so far from Outer Region. Decent jump on the Outriders, pushing them back a little bit, getting buffered back though by the Free Company, and a decent little volley there. Getting some poke in on the Furies is definitely nice. These guys pretty squishy with their low HP pools. And they're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting here. That's a lot of missile play that they're trying to screen out. Lots of Nurgle forces do get engaged, and they are going to be able to grind through this Empire front line. But are they going to be able to do it before the Master Engineer absolutely mulches through the hordes here? He's getting some pretty good terror routes here. Some Marauders of Nurgle running for their lives, knowing that, axes and some flimsy shields, they ain't shit against the cannons and the heavy armor here of the Panzer Layer Division of the Empire, basically. I mean, I don't know what else you can call it. The Master Engineer getting a nice side charge right down the flank of these Marauder great weapons. Look at the carnage, man. Absolutely obliterating this unit. Taking down multiple models at once. 157 kills in the early going already. Terror routing and breaking the leadership on these guys. More Marauders terror routing in addition. Decent cast there of the, Stream of Corruption from the Nurgle caster. Getting some good damage on the Spearmen. But the infantry hordes so far have absolutely no answer to the Master Engineer. And he's just bullying the Nurgle forces right now. But Nurgle does get very aggressive onto the home objective with the Pestigores. They are all over these Spearmen. They will flip this objective eventually. But as I say that, Outriders with grenade launchers, they haven't gotten a lot of value so far in this game. Outer Region being very cautious with these guys. Just kiting back constantly and making sure that the Free Company militia are always in a position to help these guys out. And they're slowly working down the Furies. Very patient play from Outer Region. And once the Fury Swarm is dealt with, which shouldn't take too much longer, the Outriders are just going to have free value over here on the home objective, and I don't know if Harrison's going to be able to hold on to these points long enough to win on objectives. I mean, the continued carnage from the Master Engineer coming in huge here for Empire. These Spearmen, They've fallen for their chosen lord today, but at the end of the day, they are expendable. And the Master Engineer, I mean, I think one of his battle speeches is, "If you just follow my plan, we will have victory today." He just didn't let these guys know that it's going to come at the expense of their personhood. And definitely some serious casualties for Reichland. Marauders do fold back into combat against the spears, but the tear routes are going to continue to be a problem for them here. Every time they tear route like this, they're getting closer and closer to ultimately shattering. Just because they do get continually worn down by the Master Engineer as they're running away. He's firing the steam cannon. He's firing that grenade launcher he's got as well. I don't think he's even fired a shot from the cannon so far. Huge pigeon bombs coming in there. Mulching through more of the Marauders and the Pestigores. Terror routing 3 units at once. That's a new record for him. He's unstoppable, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 1,800 value and 400 kills so far. I'm going to have to start banning him again. I don't think he's been balanced out evenly enough. And we do have a complete devastation on the Fury Swarms and the Outriders with grenade launchers. Now that they're uncontested, they're going to slowly work down on just blasting the Marauders off of this point. And the Royal Altdorf Gryphites actually making an appearance here in the mid-game. That's how you know it's starting to get out of control. Gold value is continuing to balloon for the Empire. Look at the massacre over here. Pestigores getting obliterated. They get tear routed and then broken. Thanks to the Royal Altdorf Gryphites, man. These guys also have Glorious Charge now. That was a nice little change for them. I think it's pretty appropriate. They're running over some Nurglings now. Harrison's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at these objectives, just trying to stuff back the Empire. But the value trading is continuing to get more and more unfavorable for him, and just still no answer for the Master Engineer. No throwing axes coming out. Just continuing to try and feed Furies into the effort at chasing down the Outriders. Does get a Curse of the Slug off. Maybe they're going to be able to catch the Outriders here. Still probably not going to be enough, because the Free Company militias, they've pushed up pretty nicely, and they're starting to get some pretty good value themselves. What are they up to now? 500 on some of these guys. Sterling's Revenge out here too. They're also doing pretty well. Knights of the Black Rose coming in. And with the more durable mobility coming out for the Empire, once they get through and start capping up some of these objectives, what's going to happen is Nurgle's not going to be able to push the infantry up to continue holding here. And the Empire's just going to have free reign to just ping-pong off of their infantry as they move up onto these points. Only 600 tickets here for Harrison. Empire is flipping one of the objectives back now. The number 1 slowly flipping for the Empire as well. And I think Nurgle's very much out of steam here. Harrison tried. Maybe would have had it if the Empire Master Engineer isn't out here. Doing what he does best, which is just being a huge asshole and taking advantage of his superior mass. I mean, he's got, what, 5,000? He can just push through all of these infantry endlessly. Doesn't matter what you're trying to do to stop him up with infantry. He's just going to get away anyways. You'd really need some Plague Toads to try and lock him in. And then get throwing axes. Because if you engage him in melee with, like, Rot Knights or something like that, that's a very expensive unit to stick on top of him. And then he's just going to fire the grenade launcher around him. That grenade launcher does pretty good damage to cavalry targets and other lightly armored units that might try to block him in. Then you've got to deal with all of the pistolier fire or outriders with grenade launchers or Free Company. All of that firing in on top of your units, trying to kill this guy. Earthblood's going down for the Empire, stiffening up the HP pools for all of the Free Company and the Master Engineer, who is at full health now, 9,100 HP. 500 kills, 2,300 value, plenty left to give. Empire fully resurgent out onto the battlefield, getting onto the home objective of Nurgle now. And Harrison probably going to be calling it here in just a moment. Has absolutely nothing left on this side of the battlefield. Just basically dead Pestigore back here will probably get pushed off by some missiles or another cavalry unit coming out. Some Pestigores looking to move up to protect the home objective, trying to get some kind of value. Plague Toads do finally come out, but it's too little too late. They are taking fire from the Sterling's Revenge and the Free Company militia, but Knights of the Black Rose and the Master Engineer, probably more than enough by themselves to deal with those guys. And the poor little Nurglings, man. Frolickers, Bubonic, you know, maybe somehow the melee reflection nukes everything in this blob. Obviously not really going to happen, but, you know, Pipe Dreams here, that might be the way back in. Nurgle Sorcerer, not doing badly for himself, actually getting 1,300 value. And maybe if this guy's on the Rot Knight, he can just hound down the Master Engineer all game. That might be an interesting strategy for Nurgle in the future. Harrison does equalize the value a little bit, but I feel like it's very deceptive here. I mean, he's got absolutely no mobility. He's down by a lot in terms of units, and he does throw in the towel there. Out of region with a very dominant win there. And I think I might need to look into rebanning the Master Engineer. Definitely put that game on his back and absolutely ruined the Nurgle Force's day there. Brutal, brutal stuff. But absolutely no shame in it from Harrison. He got to the finals. That's a very difficult task. This was a pretty stacked tournament. There were a lot of really high-level players. So definitely earned the spot. And unfortunately just ran into a unit that I still think is wildly overtuned right now. Something's got to be done about these steam tanks, man. Absolutely relentless performance there from it. It does require good micro, but you know, somebody like Outer Region is always going to be able to make good use out of that thing. All the Free Company Militia paying for themselves, doing pretty nicely. This one doubling its value almost, and Sterling's Revenge. You know, you love to see the big hats coming in here and doing nicely for themselves. Cannon, about 500 value, probably got killed off by some Furies is what it looks like. But, you know, providing a little bit of battlefield control, stopping Harrison from bringing out any of the Plague Ogres or the Chaos Knights in the early game. Really needing the Furies to try and buffer out the grenade launchers. And not being able to build up enough of a force to deal with these guys. Empire looking pretty strong this patch, man. Royal Altdorf Griffites didn't have a ton of targets to fight, but they were doing some pretty good hammer and anvil there out on the home objective, helping secure that nicely for Outer Regions. So let's go give some GGs there. Harrison saying, "What else can I do?" SMH. I've been there, man. Alright, guys. Whew. You can call this a win. I know what you mean, AG. Chariots can't go through shit, but that tank that should suck in melee can just plow through. I mean, it's gotta be crazy heavy. I understand giving it good mass, but it's the efficiency of it just plowing through infantry that is it's just ridiculous. I mean, I really don't know what else to say but to call it OP. I mean, I've personally, last season, was banning it in all of my tournaments just because you get your Lord on such a durable platform. It's got the directional shield to persevere through a lot of the missile fire that can supposedly counter it. It's got, it had a bugged hitbox. That did get fixed. And it used to be able to also shoot the main cannon in melee, which did get changed, so at least you didn't have to watch it also obliterate everything else doing that at the same time. But, yeah. the infantry clearing is just a little disgusting from it still. So I think maybe we're gonna have to ban it, because it's also one of the other problems is that it's a giant metal box that can get healed by life magic. So you just bring regrowth and earthblood and just heal it endlessly, and it's so difficult to kill. It skews matchups so badly. But taking full advantage of it is, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're coming out here to get some tourney wins, why not take advantage of the broken units that you've got available in your toolkit? So, anyways, thank you for joining, guys. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I've got to go plan a camping trip now, and I don't know. I'll be recording some stuff. I'll be releasing it out over the course of the week while I'm gone, and when I get back, I'll be jumping back in. I'll be doing the new player tournament on Saturday, and we'll be maneuvering in from there. I'll be doing a lot of tournaments while the patch is new, and you know, discussing with people what does and doesn't need to be banned. So, peace out, guys. Y'all take care. GG's.